Gospel of Matthew chapter 13, verses 1 to 58, reflections after the verses. Verse 1. The same day went Jesus out of the house, and sat by the seaside. Verse 2. And great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship, and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. Verse 3. And he spoke many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow. Verse 4. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. Verse 5. Some fell upon stony places, where they had not much earth, and immediately they sprang up, because they had no deepness of earth. Verse 6. And when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. Verse 7. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up, and choked them. Verse 8. But others fell into good ground, and brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold. Verse 9. Who has ears to hear, let him hear. Verse 10. And the disciples came, and said unto him, Why do you speak unto them in parables? Verse 11. He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. Verse 12. For whosoever has, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance, but whosoever has not, from him shall be taken away even what he has. Verse 13. Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. Verse 14. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which says, By hearing you shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing you shall see, and shall not perceive. Verse 15. For this people's heart has grown dull, and their ears are hard of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. Verse 16. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. Verse 17. For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which you see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which you hear, and have not heard them. Verse 18. Hear you therefore the parable of the sower. Verse 19. When anyone hears the word of the kingdom, and understands it not, then comes the wicked one, and catches away that which was sown in his heart. This is he who received seed by the wayside. Verse 20. But he that received the seed into stony places, the same is he that hears the word, and immediately with joy receives it. Verse 21. Yet has he no root in himself, but endures for a while, for when tribulation or persecution arises because of the word, immediately he is offended. Verse 22. He also that received seed among the thorns is he that hears the word, and the care of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, choke the word, and he becomes unfruitful. Verse 23. But he that received seed into the good ground is he that hears the word, and understands it, who also bears fruit, and brings forth, some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. Verse 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man who sowed good seed in his field. Verse 25. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat, and went his way. Verse 26. But when the blade was sprung up, and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. Verse 27. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, did you not sow good seed in your field? From where then has it tares? Verse 28. He said unto them, an enemy has done this. The servants said unto him, Will you then that we go and gather them up? Verse 29. But he said, No, lest while you gather up the tares, you root up also the wheat with them. Verse 30. Let both grow together until the harvest, and in the time of harvest I will say to the reapers, Gather together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. Verse 31. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is like to a grain of mustard seed, which a man took, and sowed in his field. Verse 32. Which indeed is the least of all seeds, but when it is grown, it is the greatest among herbs, and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and lodge in its branches. Verse 33. Another parable spoke he unto them, The kingdom of heaven is like unto leaven, which a woman took, and hid in 3 measures of meal, till the whole was leavened. Verse 34. All these things spoke Jesus unto the multitude in parables, and without a parable spoke he not unto them. Verse 35. That it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet, saying, I will open my mouth in parables, I will utter things which have been kept secret from the foundation of the world. Verse 36. Then Jesus sent the multitude away, and went into the house, and his disciples came unto him, saying, Declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. Verse 37. He answered and said unto them, He that sows the good seed is the Son of Man. Verse 38. The field is the world, the good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. Verse 39. The enemy that sowed them is the devil, the harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. Verse 40. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. Verse 41. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do iniquity. Verse 42. And shall cast them into a furnace of fire, there shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Verse 43. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who has ears to hear, let him hear. Verse 44. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto treasure hidden in a field, which when a man has found, he hides, and for joy thereof goes and sells all that he has, and buys that field. Verse 45. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a merchant man, seeking goodly pearls. Verse 46. Who, when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had, and bought it. Verse 47. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net, that was cast into the sea, and gathered of every kind. Verse 48. Which, when it was full, they drew to shore, and sat down, and gathered the good into vessels, but cast the bad away. Verse 49. So shall it be at the end of the world, the angels shall come forth, and sever the wicked from among the just. Verse 50. And shall cast them into the furnace of fire, there shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Verse 51. Jesus said unto them, Have you understood all these things? They said unto him, Yes, Lord. Verse 52. Then said he unto them, Therefore every scribe who is instructed unto the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is a householder, who brings forth out of his treasure things new and old. Verse 53. And it came to pass, that when Jesus had finished these parables, he departed from there. Verse 54. And when he came into his own country, he taught them in their synagogue, so that they were astonished. Verse 57. And they were offended at him. But Jesus said unto them, A prophet is not without honor, except in his own country, and in his own house. Verse 58. and he did not many mighty works there because of their unbelief. Reflections on Gospel of Matthew chapter 13, verses 1 to 58. Gospel of Matthew chapter 13 is a powerful chapter filled with Jesus' parables, each revealing deep spiritual truths about the kingdom of heaven. Through these parables, Jesus teaches about faith, the state of the human heart, the reality of spiritual opposition, and the final judgment. 1. The parable of the sower, verses 1 to 23, the condition of our hearts. The parable of the sower illustrates how people receive God's word differently. The 4 types of soil represent different responses. The wayside, those who hear but do not understand, the enemy quickly snatches the word away. Stony ground, those who receive the word with joy but fall away when challenges arise. Among thorns, those who allow worries and riches to choke their faith. Good soil, those who hear, understand, and bear fruit for the kingdom. This parable challenges us to examine our own hearts. Are we allowing distractions to choke our faith, or are we cultivating a heart that receives and nurtures God's word? 2. The parable of the wheat and the tares, verses 24 to 30, 36 to 43, the final judgment. Jesus teaches that both wheat, true believers, and tares, those who oppose God, will grow together until the final judgment. This reminds us that, while evil may exist in the world, God is in control. The time will come when he will separate the righteous from the wicked. Until then, we must remain faithful and trust in his plan. 3. The parables of the mustard seed and leaven, verses 31 to 33, the power of the kingdom. The mustard seed, though small, grows into a large tree, symbolizing how God's kingdom starts humbly but expands beyond human expectations. Likewise, the parable of the leaven shows how God's truth transforms hearts and spreads throughout the world. These parables remind us that even the smallest acts of faith can have great impact. 4. The parables of hidden treasure and the pearl, verses 44 to 46, the value of the kingdom. Both parables emphasize that the kingdom of heaven is worth more than anything else in life. The man who finds the treasure and the merchant seeking pearls both give up everything to obtain what is most valuable. These parables challenge us to ask, do we treasure God above all else? 5. The parable of the net, verses 47 to 50, the final separation. Like the wheat and tares, this parable describes the final judgment, where God will separate the righteous from the wicked. This serves as a solemn reminder that eternity is real, and our response to Jesus determines our destiny. 6. Jesus rejected in his hometown, verses 53 to 58, the cost of unbelief. Despite his wisdom and miracles, Jesus was rejected in his hometown. This highlights the danger of familiarity leading to unbelief. It reminds us that faith is not about how much we know about Jesus, but how much we trust him. Conclusion. Gospel of Matthew chapter 13 teaches that God's kingdom is priceless, transformative, and ultimately victorious. It challenges us to reflect on the condition of our hearts, our priorities, and our faith. Are we receptive to God's word? Do we recognize the value of his kingdom? Are we ready for his return? May we seek to be good soil, faithfully bearing fruit for his glory. Join us as we dive into God's word and grow in his love and grace. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of encouragement.